Good morning, and welcome to the 9th Annual Iowa Youth Institute, hosted in partnership by the World Food Prize Foundation and Iowa State University. We are so grateful that you could all join us as we endeavor on an adventure via a new online platform. Today, we welcome students and educators from over 100 Iowa high schools to collaborate, create, and share ideas to address our world's most pressing challenges in hunger and poverty. Many of you know and work closely with the director of the Iowa Youth Institute, Kelsey Tyrrell, and may have been expecting to see her here giving these remarks. Kelsey is well, but unable to join us due to a family emergency. But please know that Kelsey will be thinking of all of you today as you start your journey as a World Food Prize hunger fighter. She'll be following up shortly after IYI with next steps for the Global Youth Institute. So don't worry, she'll be back. The World Food Prize Foundation awards $250,000 each year to an individual or group of people who have had a significant breakthrough in improving the quantity, quality, or availability to food in the world. We hold public forums to gather the doers and thinkers from around the world who are working to end hunger, improve our food systems, and end poverty. And we work with young people like you across the United States and around the world to excite the next generation of hunger fighters. Throughout the entirety of our organization, our focus is to recognize, inspire, and empower that next achievement that brings us closer to a more food secure world. And that is why we're here today. Because of each of you are a part of the solution we seek, the Iowa Youth Institute provides a platform for you to share your ideas by giving each and every one of you a virtual seat at the table. We mean that quite literally, as you will soon sit side by side with some of our state's leading experts in agricultural innovation during your roundtable discussions and immersion sessions. And if you haven't realized it already, you'll soon discover that today your voice matters, and we need you. I'd like to now welcome the president of the World Food Prize Foundation, Barbara Stinson, who wants to share her own message of welcome to each of you. President Stinson assumed leadership of the World Food Prize Foundation on January 4th, 2020, building on a career of championing policy, research, and project innovations throughout collaborative solutions. Please help me in welcoming Barbara.
Thank you, Madeline. Good morning, everyone, and welcome. I am so honored to be joining my very first World Food Prize Iowa Youth Institute. I'm so excited for today. It's going to be an amazing event. Right now, there's over 350 people dialed in to this virtual event, and I just have to say it's been an amazing pivot for the organization. We have, in 5 to 6 weeks' time, with all of you participating, been able to shift to a virtual platform in order to continue this trend of creating a pipeline of professionals, growing professionals in agriculture and global food security. So let me just say a little bit more about what Madeline started. What is the World Food Prize? As you probably know, it's a series of programs and prizes. And our mission is to elevate innovations, inspire action, to sustainably increase the quantity, quality, and availability of food for all. So our job is to recognize and inspire those who are feeding the world. And I'm sure you know, feeding the world is not simply a matter of just increasing food production. Our job is to produce food that also preserves and protects our natural resources and provides nourishing food. Food must be accessible, affordable. It must meet our nutritional, health, and cultural needs of everyone. We honor those who have successfully worked towards this goal, calling attention to improvements in global food security and what more needs to be done. Dr. Norman Borlaug was the father of the Green Revolution. He was also the winner of the Nobel Prize for Peace in 1970. He started the World Food Prize Foundation in 1986, following his Nobel Prize work to end hunger and starvation. He envisioned a prize to honor those improving the world's food supply. Borlaug saw the World Food Prize as a way to recognize role models, and inspire others, especially young people. Since then, we've honored 49 individuals who've made vital contributions to improving the quality, quantity, and availability of food throughout the world. From Bangladesh to Belgium, Cape Verde to China, Cuba to Ghana, Israel, Mexico, the Netherlands, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, Switzerland, the UK, the United States, and of course, even the United Nations. Our laureates know, and we know, the single greatest challenge we face in the 21st century will be to sustainably feed up to 10 billion people by the year 2050. You hear this all the time. We will have to produce more food in the next 30 years than has been produced in the last 1,000 years combined. We have to do it with fewer resources, less water, less land, fewer inputs. Also, in the context of climate change, we have to produce this food in erratic weather conditions, extreme temperatures, flooding, drought, rising sea level, saltwater intrusion, and in the face of increasing plant, animal, and human diseases, such as we are witnessing and dealing with right now. So the question is not, how can we feed? It's not, can we feed 10 billion people? It's how are we going to do it? We want agriculture and food production that is sustainable, cost-efficient, culturally appropriate, and fair for all consumers. So why are we here today? Well, you have identified a major problem and researched it thoroughly, how it will affect a typical family in another country. You've looked at the economy, the health of the population, the environment, all kinds of associated issues. And in analyzing the evidence, you've come to critical conclusions. Now you're going to share with us what you think we should do. We will listen as you recommend the technologies and innovations, programs, and policies that are needed to solve these challenging problems. In this discussion, you decide how we use our natural resources, where we put our effort, how do we get the job done. We're excited to learn more about your research and your recommendations, and to hear your ideas on how we should solve these global challenges. Now, it's my honor to introduce another great hunger fighter and friend, the president of Iowa State University, Wendy Winterstein. Wendy Winterstein. As a member of the World Food Prize Council of Advisors, Dr. Winterstein has been a tremendous supporter of our programs, especially our Iowa Youth Institute, for many years. Dr. Winterstein became the 16th president of Iowa State University on November 20th, 2017, as the first woman to hold the university's highest office. Dr. Winterstein has served Iowa State for almost 40 years in several capacities. As president, and with the support of her administrative team, Dr. Winterstein is advancing Iowa State University in the 21st century with key priorities focused on enhancing student access, strengthening innovation and research excellence, creating a culture of entrepreneurship, cultivating an inclusive, open campus environment, and growing state and private support for the university, its faculty, staff, and students. So with that, we welcome Dr. Winterstein.
Greetings from Iowa State University, and welcome to the 9th Annual World Food Prize Iowa Youth Institute. While this is the first virtual Youth Institute, I know we all wish we could be together in Hilton Coliseum on the Iowa State campus. I know the World Food Prize and the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences has worked hard to put together today's program, and I believe you'll find it to be a very meaningful experience. We're excited to have hundreds of students with us today from schools all over Iowa. The World Food Prize and Iowa State University both share a vision of the importance of bringing students like you together to help inspire you so that you can help us in global hunger and poverty. When we consider the challenges our society is facing right now from the COVID-19 pandemic, it deepens our appreciation of the importance of diverse talents and skills, of collaboration, and of innovative thinking. These are the key elements needed to overcome not only COVID-19, but all of the grand challenges facing the world. As you know, our world population is expanding at a rapid pace, and that means the race to find solutions to end global hunger and poverty is more urgent than ever before. Here at Iowa State University, we are fostering a culture of innovation and entrepreneurship that empowers our students to find those solutions, to become leaders, creators, and difference makers in their careers and communities. Our students learn from faculty experts who are on the leading edge of agricultural advancements in Iowa and around the world. We continue to be inspired by the great agricultural icons, George Washington Carver, Henry Wallace, and Norman Borlaug, the father of the Green Revolution and the founder of the World Food Prize. Your participation in the Iowa Youth Institute shows that you have the drive and determination to join us in this challenge, and we can't wait to see the ideas and solutions that you come up with. One of the primary reasons for the success of the Iowa Youth Institute is the visionary leadership of Ambassador Kenneth Quinn. Ambassador Quinn served as president of the World Food Prize for 2 decades before retiring this year. We thank him for the tireless efforts to lift up the legacy of Dr. Borlaug and inspire students like you to be the next generation of global hunger heroes. Last fall, we announced that we would expand the set of scholarships offered by the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences that are exclusively for the participants of the Iowa and Global Youth Institutes, and we named them in honor of Ambassador Kenneth Quinn. I want to thank Dan Robeson, Dean of the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences, for his commitment to expanding this program. We are so pleased that over the past 8 years, more than $275,000 in scholarships to Iowa State University have been awarded to students who have participated in the Youth Institutes. Our strong partnership with the World Food Prize continues under the leadership of President Barbara Stinson. We are delighted to continue our collaboration to ensure the World Food Prize youth programs are among the most successful STEM initiatives in the country. To all of our participants, I hope your experience today inspires you and further ignites your passion to become a hunger hero. And I hope to see you here on campus someday as part of the Iowa State community of leaders and innovators. Enjoy the Institute and have a great day.
Many thanks to President Winterstein for that inspiring message, and a big thank you to our partners and sponsors, Paul and Claudia Schickler, for their continued support of the Iowa Youth Institute. We could not have the IYI without the continued partnership and support of President Winterstein, the ISU College of Agriculture and Life Sciences, and the incredible team of staff, faculty, and volunteers who give so much of their time and attention to ensure the success of this program. We are looking forward to having many university faculty and ISU Extension staff join you all later today as roundtable experts. Now, looking towards our keynote presentation from Landis Cooperative CEO Matt Karstens, I implore you all to think about the unique perspective Matt has on agricultural sustainability. As an alumnus of Iowa State, Matt formerly served as the head of Land O'Lakes Truterra business unit and now leads Landis Cooperative, a farmer-owned agricultural cooperative headquartered in Ames, Iowa. And with that, I will hand it over to our keynote presentation.
Hello everyone, I'm Matt Karstens and I'm CEO at Landis. Let me start by saying first to the World Food Prize Iowa Youth Institute and all of you participating, congratulations. I can't think of a better opportunity for somebody in high school moving into their college or workforce days ahead. An opportunity like this is really special. And it's extra special because you're making the commitment. You're choosing to take time out of your schedules and lives to do something different, like doing this conference virtually. You continue to strive at change. Quite candidly, you're comfortable being uncomfortable. And we'll talk about that a little bit more in the end, but think about the phrase being comfortable with being uncomfortable. So now a little more about me. As I said, I'm Matt. I work with Landis. I just joined Landis from Land O'Lakes, where I served as Senior Vice President of their Truterra business unit. At Land O'Lakes, they have 4 businesses. They have Winfield United, which is agronomy insights and input. They have Purina, which is animal nutrition. They have their dairy business, which we all know with the products on the grocery store shelves. They have the Land O'Lakes logo. And then they have Truterra, which is their sustainability for ag and food, and then also work in rural communities. I'm blessed to have the opportunity to work both now at Land O'Lakes and now here at Landis. This opportunity really comes for me in the discussion with all of you about headlines. What are some of the headlines we're seeing today? We're seeing things like consumers, and can they trust their food source? Will there be food there? What's the health, nutrition, and safety of the food? We're seeing ag headlines, like what's going on in the livestock industry with meat processors. What's going on in the ethanol industry with cutbacks in gas consumption, even some issues overseas with OPEC and Russia, all of which impact us in ways that we hadn't been able to think of, that are new to us. But the journey doesn't stop with the headlines. It actually just begins there. So there's 3 areas of focus that I think we should talk about. First is on sustainability. Sustainability is something that means a lot of different things to many people. But for us, we're going to talk about how you feel about this. I'm sure as you hear the word sustainability, with all 300 or so of you, different things come to mind. But for me, that journey really started in a discussion that I was having with Walmart at a fertilizer conference. They came and spoke to a bunch of the executives about the impacts that fertilizer is having on the environment, specifically nitrogen applied to corn in the Midwest, and what that sole phrase had meant to their greenhouse gas footprint. And at the time, it was one of the largest contributors, which was about 7 years ago. I then decided that it was time to do something, that us as Land O'Lakes needed to make a change, a difference in this journey. So I continued the discussions with Walmart, particularly through a group called the Environmental Defense Fund, and was lucky enough 6 months later to be on stage at Walmart, talking with them, most of their execs, several of their employees, and a lot of their suppliers around how ag can be a part of the greenhouse gas solution. Now, that's a lot about how everyone feels. The challenge, how do you take bite-sized steps to really make a difference? For today, I'm happy to report that us at Landis are actively a part of Truterra, and at Land O'Lakes, they've made that into something that truly matters to farmers, to ag, throughout the food value chain. Now let's talk about data. Data is an essential part of what you're going to continue to experience and learn here at the Iowa Youth Institute. Data is everything from helping tell a farmer the real story of what they're doing and what they can do better, how they make that data come to life in a way that alters changes that's good for them economically, and yes, also for the environment. And then tracking that data all the way through to the consumer, where they can pick up a product on a grocery store shelf and see that journey through data back to maybe even a potential farm or field. That's the power that data has. It's an essential part of also the last thing that I'll talk about with you, which is innovation. Sustainability, data, and innovation are essential. Innovation from the standpoint of it's how we make the changes, how we go from where we are to where we need to be. And that journey goes all the way through, starting with data that helps make the innovation come to life and ultimately improves things like sustainability. So as you think about the projects you're going to work on, think about it through a lens of sustainability in many different ways and however you want to define that, in data and how that data turns this whole journey into something like innovation that changes something completely the other direction. And we experience that every day in ag and food. So enjoy that journey. Hopefully those things will help make a difference. But I think as you go through the Iowa Youth Institute and the experience you have, you also need to think about yourself. And what are you wanting to learn? How will you learn that? How does it prepare you for either hopefully attending the great alma mater of mine, Iowa State University, or entering right into the workforce, or whatever that journey looks like for you? What does it mean to helping you become a farmer? We're all already consumers, but a better consumer. Maybe it's a CEO. Maybe it's something in marketing, IT, something in plant breeding. All of those and many, many more at your disposal. This is a great opportunity for you to learn more about each of those and explore what might be best for you as you continue to take your steps forward. Now, in closing, I want to talk just a little bit first on the thank you side. I want to first thank the World Food Prize Iowa Youth Institute for this opportunity to present and talk with all of you. But I also want to thank Paul and Claudia Schickler. I know Paul personally, and without him and Claudia's vision and funding back in 2012 all the way through today, this wouldn't be possible. I also want to thank the co-host of Iowa State University, particularly the College of Ag and Life Sciences, and their comms, their department leads, and Dean Robeson, who leads the College of Ag and Life Sciences. All of them have been essential to this journey. And last, some closing thoughts for you. For your journey, you're going to experience many things in these projects. You're really going to be able to be proud of the opportunity that you're taking advantage of. Although the time you're foregoing may be precious, it will be well worth it. But try different things. Think about your journey. Think about sustainability, data, and innovation. And think about disruption. Because the words I'll leave you with is how we began, which is being comfortable, being uncomfortable is something that really has become a part of our life, now more than ever. So enjoy the journey, and thank you for the opportunity to speak to all of you today. Best of luck.
What a great way to kick off our next session, our student roundtable presentations and discussion. One thing I hope you were able to take away from Matt's keynote was his note to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. This will be a tremendous piece of advice for not only your time in your roundtables, but for years to come. I know that advice has been something that has kept me engaged and committed throughout many different endeavors I have taken on throughout my time in college and over my career. As we transition to our roundtables, please reference your roundtable group number and the corresponding Zoom link, which you should have received via an email from me. It's titled 2020 Iowa Youth Institute Final Details. If you have any trouble logging into your roundtable, click on the Attendee Assistance button at the bottom of the live stream webpage and fill out the form you find there. We'll get in touch with you as soon as possible to help. Once you are in your roundtable Zoom session, your session's technical host can help troubleshoot any technical issues that might arise. I encourage you to directly hop into your roundtable session right after this. If you need to take a quick break, please do so, but roundtables kick off officially at 10 a.m., and we ask that you join your Zoom session no later than 9:40 to ensure that you are able to connect. I want to give one last thank you to our keynote, Matt Karstens, to President Winterstein, to Paul and Claudia Schickler, and a huge shout out to our partners at Iowa State. Best of luck in your roundtables, and we'll see you right back here for your lunch break at noon.